Hi guys, welcome to Traders Academy. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you like this video. This video today is going to be, we're going to talk a little bit about position sizing, proper position sizing. A lot of people don't know how to properly position size when they enter a trade. And so that, if you don't know how to do that, then when you enter a trade and the trade goes against you and you stop out, on your first trade you might have a $20 loss. On your second trade you might have a $100 loss. On your third you might have a $50 win. On your fourth you might have a $200 loss, and it shouldn't be like that. All of your losses should be within the same range. If you put your losses on a graph, the line should be pretty much flat. If it's skewed a little bit, it should be in your favor, not against you. Your wins, however, they would be all over the place. They would be some would be here, 10% gain, 20% gain, 100% gain, 20% gain, 5% gain, 200% gain, and that, by doing that, it will offset any of your losses that you have. Even if you had 3 losing trades and you lost, say, 5% on each trade, but yet you have one good trade where you make 50%, well, it's going to overshadow it. So, but anyway, so this is how I find it would be easier as a beginner trader for you to do so. First of all, you have to find what your risk tolerance is. When I say that, what I mean is, what is the max amount that you are willing to lose per trade? Okay? And you may say, well, Jose, I don't want to lose any money. If I enter a trade, I want to make money. Yes, we all want to make money. But anytime you put your money out there in the stock market, the chances of you losing it are there. Proper education and learning how to position size accordingly. And you hear me say that a lot. On the alerts there, you hear me say a lot, adjust your position size, or please adjust your position size. And that is because sometimes the stop is too far away. And you say, well, why do you enter the stock if the stop is too far away? Why don't you put your stop closer? You cannot put your stop where you want to put it. You have to put it where it belongs. So the easiest way I find to do this is, we're going to use a $1,000 account as an example. And today, we had a killer day today. We had a great day today. We had, we had an NCTY trade that we swung from yesterday. And I'm still holding a tiny position of it. We had JKS options, scored 34% on it. And then I re-entered JKS and lost 24%. Should have never re-entered, but sometimes it happens. I had a swing on X that was, it had been there for days, and finally capitalized on it. 70% gain, left some money on the table, but no big deal. SPY, we nailed a 120% trade on SPY. It was actually up 150% at one point. But yeah, awesome trade there. Let's see, SOS, let's see, nailed that after hours. Got 45% secured on SOS. Nailed 21% on DGLY, and still holding a piece of SOS, and it is currently up 73%. My last piece on NCTY is up over 100%. A very, very small position that I have left on NCTY, however. But anyway, we're not going to go over the options because on a small account, using a $1,000 account, it's a little bit, risk management is a little bit harder to obtain if you're trading options, especially the higher priced ones. But let's go over, the regular trades that we had today. And today is January 6th, 2021. But yeah, so, first, another thing is, I want to make clear that, we're not financial advisors. I am merely sharing what I know, about stock trading and sharing my trades. If you want to join our Facebook group and our alerts, you are more than welcome to do so. If you want to follow our trades, you are more than welcome to do so. You're going to do so at your own risk. Always do your own due diligence. And so let's get started. So if we had a $1,000 account, and let's assume that this is a cash account. So on a cash account, you're not limited to 3 day trades per week. So on a cash account, you can trade as much as you want as long as you use settled funds, right? So if we had $1,000 account, we would split that, divide 1,000 by 10, which would give you, or divide 1,000 by 100, which would give you 10 potential trades at $100 per trade, okay? So you could use 500 one day and make 5 trades that day, and then 500 the next day and make 5 trades that day. So let's assume we do that. Let's assume we have a $1,000 account and we're going to use about $100 per trade. About, not exactly. So on a $100 trade, let's just say my max risk is 5%, okay? So my max risk on a $100 trade is 5%, which would equal to $5. Okay. So now I know how much I want to risk. I do not want to risk over $5 per trade. That means I do not want to lose over $5 per trade. Okay. Now bear with me. This video might get a little long. I'll try to make it as short as possible, but I want to go into detail on how to do this. Okay. So now we know what our max risk is. We are going to risk $5 per trade. Okay? Now, once you know what your max risk is, the next step is to figure out where your stop is. Okay? Once you figure your stop on a chart, and this is NCTY we're looking at, we're going to start with that one. Once you figure out your stop on the chart, then you can figure your position size. So let's go to NCTY. Yes, this is today. Let's go over to yesterday. NCTY was right here yesterday. And let me look at my alerts here. Let's see. And I'm gonna bring this over so you can see this. I hope you can see this. So let me look at NCTY. I believe I entered at 9.30. Yeah, NCTY. Long 9.30 for possible swing. Stop VWAP area. And this was at 1:51 p.m. Eastern Time. It says 12:51, but that's Central Time. So this was at 1:51 p.m. And before that, I actually sent a chart. Let's see. Yeah, I actually sent a chart in the channel so that they, so that people could see what I was looking at. So I entered at $9.30. Stop at VWAP area 151. Okay, so 151. Let's see. That's 1351. See, right here. So I entered a trade on this candle right here. Okay, Now let's see. That's my entry. And forgive me for this. I had a glitch on my thing and lost a lot of my settings on my platform. And this is Schwab SSE, by the way. Schwab Street Smart Edge. I'm sorry, my English is not very good, I guess. Anyway, so I entered the trade right on this candle, okay? That's my entry. And like I said, at the time, you know, it was kind of forming a little wedge, if you will, kind of like that, you know. And I was anticipating a breakout to the upside because the 15-minute chart, if we go to the 15-minute chart, this is yesterday, you could see the trade line or trend line had caught up right here. This is the 9 EMA. I call it, you know, the trend line. A lot of people call it the trade line, whatever you want to call it. But it's the 9 EMA. So it was catching up, and I thought, you know, usually when that happens, it gives it a boost. So let's go back to the 3-minute, and let's go back to there. So as soon as I entered this trade, we get this flush, and I was like, oh man. And you know, my stop was VWAP area, which at the time, let's see, VWAP was about 869, so about 870, because I was assuming about 870 because I was expecting the stock to go, you know, higher, and which, you know, eventually would make VWAP go higher as well. And another reason I entered was because earlier in the day it had held this $8, you know, $8 resistance area, which was now support. So I was really expecting to get follow through on it. And NCTY was also, it had released some crypto related news, and with Bitcoin soaring, you know, it was just, you know, it had potential. So anyway, our entry is at $9.30, and our stop is 8.70. So that means that we let's see, where's my thing here? Yeah. Let's see. So yeah. So that means we are risking 60 cents. Okay. So we know we don't want to lose over $5. So we take $5 and divide that by 60 cents. That's how much we're risking. That's where our stop is. That's how much we're going to risk, 60 cents. Okay. So $5 divided by 60 cents gives you 8.33, you know, roughly 8.33. So we round that down and we can go with 8 shares. 8 shares. And you say, well, 8 shares? What am I going to do with 8 shares? Well, 8 shares is going to keep you from losing your butt if this stock. What happens if you know, if you went in with 100 shares and you stopped out and you don't want to lose over $5? Well, if you entered with 100 shares here, or let's just say you entered with $100, and you divide that by 9.30, that's 10 shares, 10.75, let's say 11 shares. 11 shares, and if you hit your stop, you're going to lose $6.60. And you say, well, that's not that much over what I was actually going to lose, you know. I mean, what I plan to lose. It's not. But the whole point is, you want to keep your losses as small as possible and consistent. You want your losses to be consistent. Okay? So anyway, you go in with 8 shares. So it costs you about $74 to enter this trade. Okay? Now, going on to today, you know, and right here, and you know, it broke VWAP, you know, slightly, and then it actually broke VWAP here, but it was so quick, and it was on light volume. You can see the volume. I mean, right here, you can see the volume, because you're gonna say, well, why didn't you stop out? I almost did. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this thing like a hawk when it was in this consolidation right here, and I had my finger on the trigger, and because it had already went below my stop, but I was not, you know, nervous because I'm even if it goes down to here and breaks this level, I'm still not going to lose that much. I'm going to lose over what I initially planned to lose. But I noticed it was like volume here, and it was a quick flush, and I said, well, maybe it's just stop losses hitting, being closer to the end of the day, so I held on to it, and I'm glad I did. It paid off. It was a little stressful, not gonna lie. It was a little stressful to monitor it after hours, because it's a losing trade and I'm holding on to it. But let's go on to today, and that's where the fun starts. So this is this morning. This is the gap up from this morning, okay? So stock opened up, and let's see, I took some profits at 10.90, 10.90, and let's just say you had 8 shares and you sold 2 shares there. You make a profit of $3.20. Then and let me look at NCTY again. Took more profits at 11.85 right there. Took more profits, 11.85. Sold. Let's just say you sold 2 more shares. Now you have a profit of $5.10 on this last 2 shares that you sold. Now you're up $8. NCTY took more profits. Let's see, 11.85. CTY, I believe, yeah, took more profit at 14.90. Let's just say you sold 2 more shares. That's an $11 gain on those other 2 shares. So now you're down to 2 shares. Now you have 2 shares left, okay? And let's see, NCTY, I said here, okay, I'm splitting the last piece in half. Has really good volume after hours. This is after hours today. And let's go to after hours on this. That's around this area. When it was testing 10. Because before that, let's see, it's here. It says took more profits at 14.90. Now we'll hold on to the last piece to see if we squeeze to 20. I said this around 1:42 p.m. today, Eastern time. So then at 1:57 p.m. I said if NCTY, if you're looking to get long, a pullback into 1350 area would be ideal. Risk to VWAP, you are risking $1 to potentially make $5. Risk is higher, so adjust your size accordingly. Again, if you had entered here and risked $1, you would only buy 5 shares if you was going in with $100. Of course, you can buy more shares if your account is bigger. I'm using $1,000 as an example for smaller accounts. Okay, I'm using $100 for smaller accounts. As always, take some profits in front of prior highs. Okay, so now here I say NCTY, I'm splitting my last piece in half. Has really good volume after hours. So I split my last piece in half, took profits at 19.70 after hours. So let's just say you took profits at 19.70 and you split your last piece, and you only sold 1 share. That was a $10 gain on that last share. So overall, you're up $30 on this trade, and you're still holding 1 share. Okay, that's a $30 gain on NCTY. $30 gain off of a $74 investment. Or a $74 trade, because let me not say investment, because these are not investments. These are just trades. We do not invest in these stocks. These are crappy stocks. We just play the hype. We just play the momentum. Follow the chart. Let the chart speak to you. Find an entry point and enter the trade. Okay. Now, that was NCTY. That was a swing. Now let's go to AIKI. Okay. AIKI. Okay, so this trade here was not as good to us. Let's see, AIKI. So let's close that. Let's go to AIKI. Okay, AIKI, long $1.60, stop $1.30. So on this trade, Now this is where position sizing comes in. On this trade, we are risking 30 cents. Okay, so again, using $1,000 count, $100 per trade, you take your max risk is $5 per trade. You take $5, divide that by 30 cents. Okay, so you should enter with about 16 shares, roughly. Okay, so 16 shares, and your trade is going to cost you $25.60, roughly. Yeah, I think that's right. $25. Let's just say $25. It's going to cost you about $25. Okay, so I enter this trade. This was at 9:47 a.m. Let's see, yeah, 9:47 a.m. Let's see. Yeah. So I entered this trade on this candle right here. And you're gonna say, well, you entered at the top, and yes, I did. But there was reasons for this entry. Okay. First of all, you look right here on this candle, and this is your initial morning high right here. Okay. And the high there is at 155. So you draw a line right there, 155, and we're gonna put right there. And why is this still doing this? I want it in white. Try that again. Okay, there we go. Now, that's our initial morning high right there. Okay. Now, when a stock puts in an initial morning high, pulls back, and now it's back above VWAP, extends, and then comes back to test this initial morning high, it usually will form a triangle above the initial morning high. This is a bullish setup. Okay. Now, normally stock consolidates here and then it shoots up. This did not happen. Okay. I was expecting to see something like that, after it broke through the consolidation, but that did not happen. So we got that. We had the trade line right here. At the time, it was actually curling up more, and I was expecting a cross here, trade line VWAP cross. Okay. Also, if you draw out your fibs, I believe a fib level lined up with it. Yes. So the 23.6 fib lined up with the initial morning high, and the 38.2 fib lined up with the trade line. So, and you can see the 38.2 fib was at 140. Trade line at the time was at 137. So I said I'm going to put my stop at 130. That way, in reality, I'm using the trade line as my stop. But, I have to give a price level. So I said 130. Okay. So let's remove that. And let's remove that. So anyway, the stock, and also, when the stock came down, it quickly got bought up, and I said, I market ordered into it, and I said, well, it's gonna extend. I mean, it's finding good support. Well, then it flushed on me, and so this was a loss. I entered 160, stop at 130. Let's see. AIKI out at 139, stock breaking down from trade line, so not interested anymore. This was at 10:05, somewhere around here, 10:05, I believe, yeah, 10:03, on this candle right here. Yeah, it was on this candle. So I exited. Entry, exit. Okay, and so I exited with all of my, I'm sorry, you would have exited with all of your 16 shares if you had entered this trade, and you would have lost, see, I had this all wrote down. I thought I had it all organized, but I'm not very good at that. Let's see, you would have lost $3.36. because instead of losing 5, because once we saw the breakdown, we exit the trade. We no longer wait until it hits our stop. You see that the trade is not valid anymore, so you exit. And your loss is actually less than $5. So it's actually less than 5% there. Okay, so now we got a $30 gain, $3 loss. Okay, now let's go to the next trade. And that was GHSI. So this was GHSI today. Let's see. GHSI. GHSI long at 82 cents, stop 75-cent area. Okay, 9:53 a.m. Okay, so on GHSI you are risking 7 cents. So you take $5 and divide that, $5 your max loss, your max risk, $5, divide that by 7 cents. So it gives you about 71 shares. And I'm using a calculator. So you would have entered with 70 shares if you round it down. You would have entered with 70 shares, so that would be about $57. That's how much the trade would cost you, about $57. Okay. Let's see, 9:53. I think I entered. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, right there. 53. I entered on this candle right here, and GHSI 9:53, 82 cents. So let's see. Right there's my entry. Okay, and anywhere in here was a good entry point for GHSI because you had the trade line making a pushing up to make a cross here. And you can also see where the stock had actually already went up above the initial morning high, pulled back. At first it broke VWAP, but then it quickly reclaimed it. That's when I said I'm entering this trade. It's gonna have some follow through. So we're in with 70. Let's say we're in with 70 shares. Now GHSI first take profit, high of day, which at the time was right here. This is the high day, 0.88. Okay, 0.88. So let's draw a line at the high, 0.88. That's where that's first take profit. It doesn't matter how close or how far away it is. The prior high intraday, it's a take profit zone. Always take profit because the stock could come up to here and then reject, and then you're going to end up having a loss where you could have had a winning trade or a smaller loss than what you would have had. So okay, first take profit, high day. So GHSI took some profits, 0.88. So let's say you had 70 trades, 70 shares. So if you had 70 shares, you would sell about 15 shares. I divide my when I enter a trade, I usually sell in 4, 5, max 6 pieces. Usually 4 pieces. A lot of times it's 5. But let's just use 4 as an example here. So let's just say you sold 15 shares at 0.8870. Right here, that's where I sold. Got 0.8870. You would have made $1 gain on this first sale. So let's see, would have sold some here. Okay, now GHSI, next take profit around or in front of $1 depending on price action, PA price action. Let's see, GHSI took more profit at 0.98. That was at 10.10. Let's see. Yeah, that was on this candle. Took more profit there, 0.98. And I didn't write this down. Let's see, hold on just a second. So I didn't write this down, so it's going to skew my numbers that I had wrote down. I didn't realize I took profit there as well. So 0.98, 0.16. So you would have profited $2.40. So it's only going to mess it up by $2.40. No big deal. Anyway, you would have profited another $2.40. Okay. Then I exited this trade at 0.8768 at 10:46 a.m. Let's see, somewhere on this breakdown. See, probably here. Yep, right here. So I got flat right here. That's where I exited my position at 0.8768. Still a profitable trade. Made, you would have made $3.12 on this, on this last trade. Overall on this trade, you would have made about $6.50 on this trade by risking $57. So not a bad thing, not a bad deal. So now let's go to ISR. ISR. This was another losing trade today. No surprise looking at the chart. ISR. Okay, ISR long 159, stop loss 130. So again, here you're risking 29 cents. Entry at 12:41. So I actually entered this one way over here. And this is a 3-minute chart, okay? That's what I use intraday. 12:41. Yeah, this candle. This is where. So if you look at the chart, VWAP resistance all along here, resistance, and finally here it poked its head, and I saw an increase in volume. I thought it was going to go. I really did. Also, support was 1.25. If you go to the daily chart, you can see it's not there. Thought this one had a gap. Maybe it didn't. But anyway, you can see right here, yeah. Put a line at 125 roughly. See resistance, support, resistance, resistance all along in there. So, that's how you identify a support and resistance area. You can see it was holding above it. So I decided to enter right here as my entry. I was being a little bit aggressive on this trade. So again, ISR $5, divide that by 29 cents. You should buy about 17 shares, which would cost you about $27 for this trade. Okay. Now, on this right here, let's see, ISR. Then I said ISR stop is now at 150 area using the 15-minute trade line. So if we go to the 15-minute, you can see by then the trade line is around 150. There's there's the value number on this trade line. So now we're going to stop out at 150, and the stock extended. I was going to take profit at about 1.74, I believe it was. Got to 1.70. I actually had a limit order already waiting there. See, I would take some profits around 1.74 area, the end of the high of day area. It never got to my price target. There's profit target, I mean. So I didn't get to take profit, unfortunately. But ISR out at 149, very small loss, 1:47 p.m. Let's see, I think it was this big red candle. Yeah, so I exited right there. That's exit point. Broke down from VWAP. Trade line breaking down VWAP to the downside. So I expect more downside once that happens, and you can see it just extended further down. So if you would have took that trade with 17 shares, you would have lost $1.70. Okay, very, very, very tiny loss. Now DGLY. So let's see, DGLY. DGLY long $2.90. Stop VWAP area at 2:16 p.m. Okay, so I believe it was on this area. Yes, right here. Let's see. And anywhere in here would have been a great entry point on DGLY. VWAP area was 275 at the time. You can see VWAP 276 or 275. So I used that as my stop, risking 15 cents. So again, if you use $5 as your max risk or max loss, you divide that by 0.15, and it comes out to about 33 shares. So you would buy 33 shares. So this trade would cost you about $87. Okay, so you notice this is you're actually buying, you're using more money on this trade because your stop is not that far. Your stop is closer. Okay, if you had entered, say, at $3, you would have bought less shares, because let's say you enter right here at $3, because your stop still has to be in this VWAP area. You cannot move your stop up to here, just because you don't want to lose over $5. You have to put your stop where it belongs. Okay, now this trade volume started coming in, and you can see right here it says DGLY possible swing with what's going on at Washington DC. Okay, so with the unrest that was happening over there, DGLY makes body cameras for the police. So they make body cameras. They make other products, that have to do with security. So, that's why I decided to play this stock. Okay, so anyway, let's say you enter with 33 shares. So let's say the first take profit, you sell 8 shares. And my first take profit was $3.15. Yes, $3.50 at 2:36 p.m. Let's see, where are you? Right there. Took first profit there. So if you'd have sold 8 shares, you would have got a $2 gain. Next take profit, took more profits, $3.50 at 250. So it should be somewhere here. Perfect. Took more profit right there. Right there, took more profit. And if you sold another 8 shares here, you would have profited $4.80. Holding DGLY into after hours, DGLY flagging, DGLY took more profits at $3.88. Right there at 3:31 p.m. And again, I missed that one when I was writing this down. So right anywhere right in here, I actually took profit right there in this candle there. So $3.88. If you'd have sold 8 more shares, you would have profited $7.84. Okay. Then closed at $3.12 after hours, all out. So let's just say you had 33 shares and you've sold 24, so now you only have 9 shares left. So 9 shares at $3.12 would give you, let's see, about about 1.98 profit. So all in all, you would have profited, see, $16.62 off this trade, off of an $87 trade. So that's a good return there as well. Okay, last trade was SOS. We took this trade after hours. SOS at 2:04, 3:18 p.m. Now, I'd see SOS. So I entered this trade right here. Okay, that's my entry. Anywhere in there is a good entry. And I was actually only risking $2. I mean, to $2, not $2. You can see $2 was resistance all day, and $2 is resistance on the daily chart. So as soon as it got over $2 after hours, and I was like, man, VWAP is right here. I was like, man, so I said, I'm gonna use, this was the whole, thesis behind this was I was gonna risk, $2 was my support area, but I was gonna risk down to VWAP. So I said, about $2.75. So you would have been risking about 15 cents. So $5 divided by 0.15, you take, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I was looking at the DGLY again. Yeah, I was going to risk on this one till about the trade line, not VWAP, trade line. I'm tired. You're risking about 1.90, so you're risking about 14 cents, and you would have bought about 35 shares roughly, risking $5 by 35 shares. Okay, so first take profit was at 248, and that would have been a, let's see, 248. Right there, first take profit, 248. And that would have been, if you'd have sold 8 shares, that would have been $3.50 profit. Second take profit was at 295. I think it was right in this area. Right in this area, 295. So that would have been a $7 profit if you'd have sold 8 more shares. And of course you could have took profit here. I did not. I'm still holding this. And as I said, up 73%. And to be honest, I did not take profit here because I was not watching it at that time. By the time I saw it, it was right here, and I was like, whatever, you know, I've had a great day. I'm going to risk a little bit more on this. No big deal. I said if it breaks down below this level, I'll just sell the rest of my position. But it held this area. So I'm looking for about 325 to hold now. I'm actually got some sell limit orders put in just in case it moves early in the AM. I took this on Webull. Webull starts trading at 4 a.m. Eastern time, and a lot of times you get those pumps. You know, a lot of times the stock gets volume at that time, and it just, you know, extends. And by the time most brokers open at 7 a.m. Eastern time, the stock has done faded. So I got some limit sell orders. Hopefully they fill. If they don't, I'll reassess the situation when I come back at around 7 a.m. And sometimes I wake up and, you know, look at it and whatnot, but anyway, I set my sell orders ahead of time just in case. So yeah, going over all of this, it would have took you about $300.42. Sorry, like I said, I'm tired. It would have took you $342.47 for all these trades. Okay. Overall, you would have profited $58.56. Actually, a little more because I had done my math wrong because I didn't see some of them alerts that I had on profit zones. So it would actually be like $68. You know, so $68 profit in one day if you spent $340. Okay, that's a 20% return. No bank is going to give you a 20% return in one day. The bank won't even give you a 20% return in a year. Okay, if you had $1,000 in a savings account, you would be lucky to get about $50, I think. I'm not. I mean, rates are so. I don't even know what they, you know, what it pays for $1,000. But anyway, if we left NCTY out of the equation, which was a swing from the prior day, these trades would have cost you $268, and you would have made a profit of about $29 overall. So it would have still been about 11% gain overall for today, and you would have made about $29 off of $268. Okay, but you see how we did that? We had 2 trades that were a loss, but we kept that loss to a minimum, and so we was able to be profitable. And let's just say we didn't take NCTY, so we would have made 5 trades today and only spent $268 out of our $1,000 account. So that would still leave us roughly about $700. Okay, and that's not to say that tomorrow you would spend the $700. No, again, you position size accordingly. You learn how to do that, and you will control your losses. And once you control your losses, then you're on your way to become a profitable trader. Okay? And a lot of people do not understand this, and I hope I explained it. I tried to explain it as best as I could. I have tried to explain to people on Facebook before about the proper education, and people say, well, what's that? Well, this is it. This is part of it. This is not all of it. This is part of it. I hope this helps people. And like I said, this was using a $1,000 account. Your gains are going to be much bigger if you have a bigger account. Your gains could be smaller if you have a smaller account. Don't look at the number. Don't look at the number value. Don't look at the dollar values. Look at percentage. Okay? Over time, it will add up. And your confidence will add up. That's what's most important. Okay, so I went too far. I think, I went too far on this thing. I hope this helps y'all out. I really do, and I hope you tell your friends about us, and more people that join us. Make our team stronger, and happy trading. Let's see. Let's hope tomorrow is a good day as well. Not every day is going to be good, but let's hope it is. Y'all have a good day.